All right, thank you guys. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to do me a favor right now and hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. All your likes, subscribes, and comments are greatly appreciated. I read them all. I'll tell you, I get a kick out of them. I really do. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some NBA action. The Celtics take on the Pistons, 3 p.m. Eastern start time in Detroit. The Celtics are the 8.5-point favorite on the road. Totals 213.5. And if you like the Pistons in an upset at home here, they're plus 285 for some money line cash. Now we're 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 daily best plays on that site as well. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. We got plays going off in both of those tiers today, so it's going to be an exciting day. We currently have we have a community of over 700 handicappers who are already signed up and on that active on that Patreon page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Boston's clearly got a better roster than Detroit here, but I'm not so sure they're playing good enough basketball in the early going here to be able to cover this substantial number on the road. Longest sentence ever. Wow. The Celtics actually lost to the Pistons just a couple of nights ago, and they put up just 93 points of scoring in that contest. The Celtics have also lost 2 of 3 away from home this season, and they rank in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. The Celtics are also letting their opponents shoot nearly 49% from the field. Now, Boston is taking on a Detroit squad who's in the top 5 in the NBA in offensive rebounding, and they rank first in the NBA defensively in first quarter points allowed. Now, Blake Griffin's been upgraded to questionable. Might see him in a limited role here tonight. Frank Jackson's also listed as day-to-day as well. But the Pistons are led by Jeremy Grant, who's scoring 23 points a night, along with 6 boards a game. Josh Jackson's also scoring 16 a game, along with 5 rebounds and a couple assists himself. And when it comes to the total in this one, 2 out of Detroit's last 3 got over the posted number, throwing out the Boston game on New Year's Day. Meanwhile, the Celtics saw 2 out of their last 3 get over the line themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Detroit Pistons plus 8.5 and the over 213 on a hook in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NBA action here on Sunday. Once again, happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you guys are having an outstanding extended weekend here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just have to quickly remind you once again that we are 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also 3-0 in our last 3 daily best plays on that site as well. And you can unlock today's daily best play for just $1.99. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. And no, you did not mishear me. When you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. So basically, the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks right here on YouTube and my Patreon site, well, I'm going to explain that to you right now. What I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. It's not the entire slate of NBA action. It's a very small sample size, and I'll tell you this much. I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game that's on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, guys, we currently have a community of over 700 handicappers who are signed up and active just let's try that again. We have a community of over 700 handicappers signed up and active on that site who are just like you. And if you want to if you want to join those folks, I really need to start editing these videos. Man, I get so excited and I just talk all over my words. I read this promo every single day too. All right, if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Wizards versus the Nets. 6 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Brooklyn. The Nets are minus 7.5 at home. Totals 241, juice to the under. Brooklyn scoring over 117 points per contest, and they rank in the top 10 in shooting the three ball. Kevin Durant scoring over 28 points a night, 6 boards and 4 assists for the All-Star. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving's also scoring over 26 a game himself, 5 boards and 6 assists for the point guard. And as good as they've been offensively, the Nets are in the top 3 in the league in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. So once again, the Nets are in the top 3 in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. Now they're taking on a 1-5 Washington team who gives up 120 points a game. The Wizards are also in the bottom 10 in the NBA in offensive rebounding on the road. When it comes to the total on this one, Washington's last 2 straight got over the posted number. They're also 4-1 to the over in their last 5. Give me the Brooklyn Nets minus 7.5 in the over 241. Next ball game, it is going to be Lakers versus the Grizzlies, 6 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Memphis. The Lakers are minus 9.5 away from home, totals 221 flat. Now the Lakers typically don't concern themselves with covering the number as good as they are. They weren't an incredible covering team last year. They're not a great covering team to start this season as well. As a matter of fact, they failed to cover the point spread in 2 out of their last 3. And they've actually covered the number in just 40% of their last 10 meetings with Memphis. And if you really want to nitpick, LA's in the bottom 10 in the NBA in defending the 3-ball on the road. Now, Caldwell Pope and LeBron are both questionable for the game. Caruso is still out. Now, the Grizzlies on the other side, they've won 2 out of their last 3. Victories over Charlotte and Brooklyn during that stretch. The Grizzlies are in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, and they find themselves scoring 116 points a game on their home court. Dylan Brooks is scoring over 19 points a game, 4 boards and a couple assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Kyle Anderson's also scoring nearly 17 a night, along with 9 boards and 4 assists. Now, the Grizzlies defensively are in the top 10 in first quarter points allowed. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 2 out of the Grizzlies' last 4 ball games did get over the posted number, throwing out the Charlotte game. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the, an underdog in this one. Give me the underdog Memphis Grizzlies plus 9.5 in the over 221. Next matchup, it is going to be Nuggets versus the Timberwolves, 7 p.m. East. The Denver Nuggets are minus 8.5 away from home. Numbers 225.5. And if you like Minnesota in an upset at home, they're plus $3 to win this one outright. Now the T-Wolves are in the top 10 in defensive rebounding at home. Top 5 in fourth quarter scoring. Malik Beasley scoring 18 points a game along with 4 rebounds. Meanwhile, D'Angelo Russell's also scoring 17 a night along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. They're taking on a struggling Nugget squad who lost 4 out of their first 5 in the 2021 season. The Nuggets are just 1-4 against the point spread as well, and they rank in the bottom 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounding. Denver's also allowing their opponents to shoot nearly 43% from beyond the arc, and when it comes to the number in this one, Denver's 1-0 to the over when they travel, 4-1 to the over through 5 ball games. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Minnesota Timberwolves plus 8.5 and the over 225 and a hook. All right, next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Utah Jazz versus the San Antonio Spurs, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time in Texas. The Jazz are minus 4.5 in San Antonio, totals 220 flat. And if you like the Spurs in an upset here, they're plus 165 on the money line. The Spurs are on a 3-game losing streak, bottom 5 in the NBA in defensive rebounding. White and Aldridge are questionable. Weatherspoon. He's such a Weatherspoon. No, Weatherspoon, excuse me. Still out for the Spurs. Now, San Antonio is taking on a Utah team who, just held the Clippers to 100 points even in a New Year's Day victory. The Jazz won 2 out of their last 3, and they're in the top 3 in the NBA in offensive rebounding. Rudy Gobert is grabbing over 13 rebounds a night, 16 points a game as well for the 7-1 center. Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell are also scoring over 20 points a night respectively as well. All 3 of those aforementioned players have started in all 5 of Utah's games this season. No injury sit-outs and no load management sit-outs either. Now, total-wise, Utah's last 2 straight stayed under the line, 4-1 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, San Antonio's 3-0 to the under in their last 3 straight themselves. Give me the Utah Jazz -4.5 in the under 220. Next game I have for you, it is going to be Mavericks versus the Bulls, 8 p.m. Eastern tip in the Windy City. The Dallas Mavericks are the 6-point favorite in Chicago. Totals 224.5. Now, the Mavs have won 2 out of their last 3, and those were wins over Miami and the Clippers during that span. Dallas is holding their opponents to just 103 points per contest and just 33% shooting from downtown. Luka Doncic is scoring over 24 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists for the guard. Just keep an eye on Luka's status. I think he should end up playing tonight, but could potentially be limited in minutes as he's battling injury. So keep an eye on him. He's questionable. Meanwhile, Tim Hardaway Jr. is also scoring over 15 points a night himself, 3 rebounds and a couple assists. Dallas is making nearly 83% of their free throws on the road as well. They're taking on a Chicago team who hasn't won a game in 3 tries yet at home this season. Chicago's giving up 126 points a night at the United Center, and they're in the bottom 3 in the NBA in home defensive field goal percentage. Satoransky, Hutchison, Arcidiacono, Young, and Dotson, they're all out for the Bulls. And when it comes to the total on this one, 3 out of Chicago's last 4 contests got over the posted number, throwing out the Milwaukee game. Meanwhile, the Bulls also saw 2 out of their last 3 home games get over the line as well. Give me the Dallas Mavericks -6 and the over 224.5. All right, next contest, it is going to be Clippers versus the Suns, 8 p.m. Eastern start time in the desert. The Clippers are -3.5 in Phoenix, totals 216 and a hook. And if you like the Suns in an upset at home here, they're +145 for some money line cash. Now, the Suns are 5-1 straight up thus far in the season, 5-1 against the spread in those contests. They're in the top 10 in defending the 3 ball, and they hold their opponents to just 98 points per night. Devin Booker is scoring 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Mikal Bridges is also scoring over 15 points a game along with 5 rebounds a night himself. Both players have started in all 6 of Phoenix's games this season as well. Now, the Suns are in the top 3 in defensive rebounding at home, and they give up just 94 points per contest on their home court. They're taking on a Clippers team who may have to go to work tonight without Kawhi Leonard. He's typically a game-time decision every single day, every single game, on whether he feels like playing or not. So just keep an eye on Kawhi. He could sit out. They normally make that decision like 30 minutes before tip. Very annoying, very frustrating. But anyway, the Clippers have lost 2 out of their last 4, and they rank in the bottom 5 in the NBA in offensive rebounding. LA's also ranking in the bottom 5 in the association in fourth quarter scoring. When it comes to the total on this one, 3 out of LA's last 4 stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Phoenix is a perfect 6-0 to the under for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Phoenix Suns +3.5 and the under 216 on a hook in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Blazers-Warriors, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the Bay. The Blazers are -5 at Golden State, totals 235 flat. And if you like the Warriors to win this one outright at home, they're +$175 for some money line cash. Now, the Warriors are dead last in the NBA in field goal percentage and shooting the 3 ball. Very surprising, as this was a dynasty built on shooting, especially the long ball. So, last in field goal percentage, last in shooting the 3 ball. Golden State also finds himself in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding and they also give up 124 points a night. Now they're taking on a Portland squad who's won 3 out of their last 4 themselves, and they're shooting nearly 40% from downtown. CJ McCollum's averaging 28, 3, and 6, along with a couple of steals a night. Meanwhile, Dame Lillard's also scoring over 25 a game, along with 4 boards and 7 assists. Now, scoring-wise, 2 out of Portland's last 3 stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Golden State is 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Portland Trailblazers, -5, and the under 235. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 3-0 in our last 3 college basketball tier package plays. And when it comes to our free plays right here on YouTube, I like the Pistons plus 8.5 over 213 and a hook. I also like the Nets -7.5 over 241. I like the Memphis Grizzlies plus 9.5 over 221. I'm also leaning toward the Timberwolves plus 8.5 over 225 and a hook. I like the Utah Jazz -4.5 under 220. I also like the Mavs -6 over 224.5. I'm leaning toward the Phoenix Suns plus 3.5 under 216 and a hook. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it. And please subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. Give me the Portland Trailblazers -5 and the under 235. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout-out to Crack Boston, Chant Sheffield, Robert S., Straight to the Point, Bo Dunn, Proline Master, Mike Rose, Chris Shelton, Marquise Foster, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout-out to my good friend, Bertrand Tech Montreal. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. It's only the 3rd of the month, so you're really getting good value by signing up early. Really kind of a long time to wait. If you're going to wait till February, might as well sign up now if you're thinking about it. So once again, we'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the 1st of every month following that. And if you guys end up buying a package here today, just keep in mind that all the lesser expensive memberships on that site are included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.